Hello theme park fans, I'm your host Jeffrey King, and today we're going to be ranking 17 attractions, including Posidens Fury at Universal's Islands of Adventure. And without further ado, let's hop right into it and see what happens to land at number 1. Starting off at number 17 is the Pteranodon Flyers, for the simple fact that you can only go on it if you have a kid under a certain height, which really isn't fair to most adults and teenagers and all those people who don't have a little kid, or even if they do, the kid's not going to want to go on 30 times, so not everyone in the family gets to ride it. I don't see the point. If it's something with a weight issue, if you're putting an adult on there anyway, can't you just have, one person at a time then? It doesn't have crazy long waits. It might if you reopen it, but it's going to slow down. I have faith in that if it did. So there's really no reason for that rule to exist, but for the sole reason that there's a ride that I'm physically not able to go on, that's gonna land this ride all the way in last place. Coming in at number 16 is the Incredible Hulk roller coaster, and I'm not gonna lie, the thing looks insane. It looks like fun for those of you who can conquer it. Me personally, I cannot go on an upside down roller coaster, just some kind of phobia. I've never been, never will as of right now. I don't know about me in 30 years, but at this moment I do not have the mental will to hop on an upside down roller coaster, so for that fact I have the Incredible Hulk ranked at number 16. And now we're gonna head back over to kid rides. Coming in at number 15, we got the Carousel, for the sole reason that it's just slow. It's just a merry-go-round, although incredibly themed merry-go-round. Don't get me wrong, I do love the little animals, the weird whatever they are looking things, but it's just the regular carousel. Besides that, nothing crazy. You got the Dr. Seuss music going on in the background, but besides that, it's just the basic carousel, and it's just kind of boring otherwise, besides the cool animals to look at. So for that sole reason, we're putting that in number 15. Coming in at number 14, staying in the same land, we got one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. That's a mouthful, like most rides at Universal, but nothing too exciting comes out of this ride. I mean, if you listen to the music, it is kind of like a fun game. If you listen and you go up, 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 and down, down, down when it's telling you to, you will not get wet. The only problem is most people don't even hear the music. Half the time I can't even hear it, but I know enough where I can understand the words even when it's not clear, and I go up, 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 and down, down, down. But besides the little game, it's just a normal spinning ride with water shooting at you. It's kid oriented, clearly Dr. Seuss themed. It's very cute, good for the kids, but besides that, not too crazy, nothing much. So that's why we have one fish, two fish ranked at number 14. Coming in at number 13, we got Storm Force Acceleron, which normally this probably would have came in last because it's just like a normal teacup ride with a little bit of Marvel theming integrated into it. But the reason why it skips up a few places, besides the upside down and not being able to go on ride, is because it does actually give you like a good dizziness. Like most rides like this, like if you go on the Mad Teacups at Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World, you won't get really that sick. It's just a teacup ride. This one really throws you around and makes you go oh, and it really does get you going. It's actually a pretty big thrill for a kid ride, which is why I have that ranked at number 13 above 4 other attractions. And maybe a bit of a controversial one, coming in at number 12, I have Flight of the Hippogriff, and you'll hear the next 2 rides. But the reason why I have this is there's so many crazy fun attractions at Universal, a very poorly themed, besides that cool, like, whatever they're called, animatronic, the thing with the wings, and it looks like an eagle head, but it's a horse body. That thing might have saved it a little bit, but it's not very well themed. It's about 30 seconds long. There's not much to it. It's one of the more boring rides at Universal. And the big reason why it probably should have even been lower is there's no theming at all. It's just a little out-of-the-box roller coaster, which is why I have Flight of the Hippogriff at 12. Luckily for it, lower. Mostly because of the thrill. Coming in at number 11, we have Posidens Fury. Now, it's debatable if that should be behind Flight of the Hippogriff or in front of it, but I have it in at number 11. The reason why it gets this ranking is because it's still, although a lot of people say outdated, I personally think it's one of the coolest shows in all of the theme parks, because there's different rooms, you get to adventure around, there's a live actor, there's non-live actors, it's a cool mixture, and the rooms are absolutely themed well. The only thing is you can tell a few of the effects are old, but for the most part, it's a really cool experience experience. And there's even one part where like this magic tunnel opens up and the water goes all around you. I know it's some kind of machine, but it seems like you're really walking through a water tunnel. It's crazy. It's awesome. If you don't think that room at least is cool, you're crazy. And it gets bumped up a few steps just because of that, but it also, I personally think, has a really good story. And the only problem is the wait time, which is the only reason I won't do this every day. But I am one of the few who think Poseidon's Fury is a very great attraction. And that's why it comes in at number 11 for me. Coming in at number 10, we have the High in the Sky Zeus Charlie Train Ride. And you might be thinking, how the hell did this get this high up? It's for the sole reason that it's slow, it's a few minutes long. It's a good ride to chillax for a few minutes, but you get incredible views of the entire park. You're high above Zeus Landing. You can see everything beneath you. You can see over at Marvel Superhero Island. You can see Jurassic Park. I'm sure it's going to be a great view of the new roller coaster. So fun to watch it go around while you're up on Zeus. It's going to be such a cool experience getting to see that, especially since I won't be going on the new Jurassic World roller coaster. So it's like my one thing is going to be able to watch it, and the High in the Sky Zeus Charlie Train Ride is definitely going to provide that as much as many other rides in the park. You can really see a whole lot from there, and it's not fast like the Hulk where you can see the whole park for a second, or Doctor Doom where you go up and down, and for a few seconds you're able to see the whole park. This, you're up and you can see the whole park for like a minute straight when you're over in the one corner. It's just a really cool experience, and that's what gets it so high up at number 10. Coming in at number 9, we got the Cat in the Hat, which is a very underrated dark ride. Now, I know it's a little bit old, and not everything in there is crazy well themed, special effects out the wazoo, crazy good, but it's a really cute kid dark ride. I think everyone who goes to the park can agree the air conditioning in that building is spot on. It's really cold in there, but the right kind of cold and at the right temperature. It's really good. The ride itself is, it's a solid ride. It's nothing crazy, nothing that people are going to come from all over the world to go on, but it's definitely something there that you can really want to fit in your day, especially in the hot summer sun. It's the perfect fit of a ride and getting cooled off, unlike when I said about the Zeus Charlie Train Ride. It's just something to chillax. This, you can chillax. There's more than just looking at the park. You got an actual ride going on around you. There's a little bit of spinning, so you gotta be a little bit careful, I guess. Besides that, Cat in the Hat is a really good ride, and that's what earns its spot at number 9. Coming in at number 8 is Dr. Doom's Fear Fall, where I don't really understand why it's a fear fall, because you get shot up in the air and then kind of bounce slowly down. But the reason this ride is so highly ranked is because that shot in the air really gets your adrenaline going. You get all psyched up and you get a really good view of the park. It's not quite as good as when you're on the High in the Sky Zeus Charlie Train Ride, but you get a really good view of the entire park. You get a big thrill when you get shot, 100 feet up in the air. It's really fun and exciting. It's really crazy. It's something that even my grandma enjoys, of all people, who hates thrills. It's just the right amount of thrill to get your adrenaline going, but not to go, oh my god, you know what I'm saying? So for it being such a good thrill and getting such good views of the park, not the best theming, but for the view and the thrill, Dr. Doom gets a spot at number 8. Coming in at number 7 is Popeye and Pluto's Bilge Rat Barges. Now, the reason why I have this at number 7 is I'm not a very big water person. I don't like to get wet, and I know that makes me a weirdo, but I don't even like going into the pools at the hotel and stuff like that. But overall, the theming is great on this ride. It's a long ride when it's hot or you just need some fun. It's a good ride to go over to and get cooled off, and the theming, like I said, is really good for especially a raft ride, because you look at Disney, they really butchered their raft ride that's like this over at Animal Kingdom, but Universal, they hit it spot on. It's great. It's a ride you wouldn't want to miss, especially if you like raft rides, because out of all the ones I've been on in the world, this is definitely the best themed one in the world. It really is. It's great. Coming in at number 6 is another water ride. We got Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls. The only reason why this goes above Popeye's is because I like the huge drop at the end of 50-something feet. You don't really get a big drop on those raft rides. I mean, I guess it's a big drop, but you're very lightly slanted going down like 30 feet. And it takes like 10 seconds to get down it. So the thrill factor towards the end of Dudley Do-Right is what gets it above Popeye and Pluto's. But overall, it's great theming, even better than Popeye parts of it. Some parts of of it, yeah, but most of it's really well themed. It's a cute little thing. Even kids can connect, even if they didn't watch Dudley Do Right. It's a cute cartoon. You got the cute cartoon animals all around. It's really well put together, and the thrill at the end is what puts it above Popeyes at number 6. Coming in at number 5, what probably used to would have been number 1, but because things change, we're at number 5 is Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. And when I've been talking about well-themed, these are when the rides are well-themed. These that are crazy, over the top, you love it. Even if you don't like rides, you love it. You gotta go on. If you love the movies even, it makes you get over your fear of whatever ride you're going on and go on. Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey has been open a decent amount of time now, and I think part of the reason why it dropped down number 1 to 5 is it's starting to show its age. Personally, when you go in like those sections where it's the projection on like the screen, if you look down or up, you can see like the end of it, and it really doesn't look good. If you keep your head back, which you're probably supposed to do, but I'm a dumbass, you don't really see that stuff, which is part of the reason why it's still ranked really good. Although one complaint I have is the last few times I've gone on, either the dragon blowing the smoke out of his mouth, symbolizing fire, I guess, hasn't been working. When you go in the one room with all the ghost people, whatever they're called, they haven't really been moving around trying to scare you as much as they used to. So due to a few of the effects not being as good anymore and being able to see the top and bottom of the screen, I did have to drop it down a few spots. But overall, if you keep your head back and take it for what it is, and hopefully all the effects are up that day, it could potentially be a number 1 ride. But for today's video purposes, the Forbidden Journey comes in at number 5. Coming in at number 4, we got Skull Island Reign of Kong. Now, this is not the most thrilling ride, but definitely one of the best 3D projected rides, or not 3D, but like all around you, whatever that may be called. It's a lot better than the Fast and Furious version of this. You go through 3 rooms. One room, it's on the left, one room, it's on the right, and it really doesn't look that bad, the screens. You can't really even tell for the most part. When you go into the last room, and it's all around you, everything looks great. If you're on the edge of the cart, you can kind of see the bottom, how the screen gets cut off. But if you're in the middle seat, you feel like King Kong is coming at your vehicle. And even if you're on the edge, you look the other side, it still looks that way. Like, you think, oh my god, King Kong and the dinosaurs are coming right at me. Like, it's really well themed. The story is perfect. It could be a little bit longer, but you know, with the kind of ride it is and the ride system, you can't really expect much more than what it is. It's still a really good ride, really well themed. You might not get the thrill, but you get the scaredness, which kind of balances that out. And that's why we have Skull Island Reign of Kong coming in at number 4. Coming in at number 3, we got Jurassic Park River Adventure, which is not the best ever, but one of the best ever log flume-like rides, even though it's a big cart. The log flume is definitely Dudley Do Right, but it kind of falls under the same category if it wasn't for it being such a big cart. But it's really well themed. It's like a slow boat ride. You're thinking you're getting a tour of Jurassic Park, and why are we going to the left? We're not supposed to be going over here. Then all of a sudden you start going up this lift hill, even though you're not supposed to be going up this lift hill. And big T-Rex. And then you get like this 60-foot drop. It's very thrilling. The T-Rex looks so real. All the dinosaurs do. It's crazy good, crazy well themed. There's a big thrill in this one, which is why this earns its number spot at number 3. Coming in at number 2, we have the Many Adventures of Spider-Man, or whatever it's called, the Spider-Man ride over in Marvel's Superhero Island. The land itself is crazy good. You go into the ride, you think you're in New York, you think you're in Queens, where Spider-Man is resting out watching the Met games. Let's go Mets. But yeah, it's really well themed. You can't even tell that it's a screen unless you literally look straight up and see like the ceiling. Like, I guess you're close enough where you don't really see the edges. Like, it's just crazy. And this is an older ride, so it's crazy to think how well they put this together. How even 20-something years later, it's better than most ride technology, and it wasn't even that good of technology. It's crazy good. You gotta appreciate it for its age, the time period it comes from. It's a really good ride overall. This is definitely one you don't want to miss. And there's not a whole lot of thrills because you're in a motion cart, but you really do feel like you're in Spider-Man. It really is one of the best themed rides you'll ever go on. Take my word for it. Coming in at number 1 is definitely the best ride in all of the entire world. Yes, I'm saying it, not just Universal. It's the entire world, besides maybe Rise to the Resistance at Hollywood Studios. But the best ride in the world, definitely for thrills at least. You got Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure. Thank God this thing doesn't go upside down, because I don't know what I would have done without this ride in my life. It's so well themed. You got Hagrid talking to you the whole time. You see the big 3-headed dog. What's his name? Like Lucky or something. You see all these different magical creatures. You go backwards, you drop straight down. Before you go backwards, you go straight up and drop straight down backwards. It's crazy. It's well themed. It's amazing. Even the queue, for what it used to be, because it used to be a different ride and they had to retheme the entire queue to make it look like Hagrid, and they did an excellent job. Everything about this ride makes it the best in the world, and there's really no other competition. At me in the comments if you feel like it. And speaking of adding me in the comments, that's going to bring an end to today's video. If you would rank it differently, please let me know down in the comments below, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to rip me apart about Poseidons Fury. But that's it for this week. Come back next week where we'll either be doing a Disney park or one of the other Universals, because we're including California in on this too. Thank you all for watching, and just remember, there's a great big beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day.